Alrighty, right. So we are going to quickly go also through the blog subscribe listener. You've hopefully done the log subscribe, and I briefly explained why we might want to use the blog subscribe too. And the reason is simply that the log subscribe is like a summary card that gives you the overview of the logs, like just the associated address, and but it's much more compact and brief. So at a glance, you know what is happening and the information that you might need if you want more information. And this makes this in general faster. But for what we want to do, it's going to be slower because we will need the associated bonding curve address, which the log subscribe does not include. So it will mean that we have to get the token address, we have to listen for it, and then we have to make 2 more requests to get that address. The block subscribe is slower, but it gives you the full block. It gives you all of the transaction accounts and full addresses. Technically in address lookup table, I'll go quickly through it, but you have everything. And for us to make a pump fund sniper, this will actually be faster, even though the transfer of the data is slightly slower, it's still going to be faster than making extra requests. All right, so I will not go through the same code that we have already seen in the last video, and I've explained what the constants mean and why we have discriminators, and why we have to check for certain things. So all of these functions are still pretty much the same. Again, this is the address lookup table. It saves, it's something new that Solana has, but it just helps you, it helps the block to be more compact. Instead of saving the full address, we save one address or several addresses to an address lookup table, which holds indexes that link to the actual addresses. So 0, 1, 2 is much smaller than the full length of the address, right? And you can store these again in tables that you have to look. If you study computer science, this is actually not a new thing. That's a fairly common way to build things. All right. Again, none of these functions have actually changed. The only thing that has changed is that we now listen to a different WebSocket. So you might see that all of this code is the same, except here. We will resolve and decode the WebSocket and filter differently because now we have more information to look for. And we're going to look for the associated bonding curve. But other than that, it's still pretty much the same. We have the index, the decoding function, the token standard, user index, and we set the mayhem mode. All right, and here we handle the different block subscribe method with the different, that is the whole difference of this notebook. So I went through it fast because I expect you that you watched the video before where we actually explained some of what we're doing, because we do exactly the same. And by now you should actually know what these things are, and you should have played with it, hopefully. And you can adjust this, but overall it's the same. Instead of the log subscribe, we go through the block subscribe. We handle the notification, which is just very slightly different in the way it's constructed over here. And other than that, it's exactly the same. And then we handle the transaction, and we decode the function. We get out the JSON keys and values, and we print them so we can read it nicely. And again, this thing we only need it because we are running this in a notebook, but we have a script that you can use that, as you can see, is much more compact. so you don't have to update this listener and this cell over here. And now we start to look, and you can see the new tokens from PumpFun are being created. And what is different from before is now we have the associated bonding curve. And that is the address that we'll need to snipe. All right, cool. Then wait for Ilya's video. And again, this is pretty much exactly what we did before. The only thing that we changed is the subscribe method that we are looking for. And it was easier to use the log subscribe because it has less information. And now it's just needed for you to have a little bit more, and you extend your knowledge. So in my opinion, you always try something simple, and you go as simple as possible, and then you add complexity on top of it. That usually helps you, one, learn, and two, make fewer mistakes. And I think building from the ground up is generally a good habit to have.